This is a story that starts with a tree. A beautiful old elder tree, to be precise, with spreading branches. A wee girl loved that tree, and she climbed it very often. One evening, she was up in her shelter filled with filtered sunlight, and she heard her Scottish mother calling her in for tea, saying, "Come down out of that tree!" And she didn't. So then her Italian father repeated the call and said, "Scendi da quell'albero!" And the wee girl's brain exploded. Well, it didn't really, because the wee girl was me. My brain didn't explode, but hearing the word tree in English and then in Italian had triggered some kind of landslide in my mind, a cataclysm of thought. How could this thing I was in, this high green thing I so loved, how could it be a tree at the same time as it was an albero? How could it be the same thing if it was different words? And did that mean there were other languages, other places with different ways of saying tree or anything else? I was amazed. But I was also very hungry, so I climbed down and went back in to the comfort of tea time and family. The tree carried straight on, filtering sunlight and making elder smells. But I still remember that. I almost fell off my branch with the shock of it, the sudden whoosh of immense possibilities, of unknown multiple worlds with different words for saying the same thing. Look, right now, reach out with a hand. Go on. What have you touched? A chair, an arm, nothing, the air? How many possible different ways are there of saying that thing that you've just touched? My view of the world was never the same again, because my mind had been opened up to the possibility of difference. This meant I was an extremely annoying child to teach, because once you realize that there is never one single way of saying or seeing, it is very difficult to stop asking questions. And questions can be disruptive as well as liberating. The two most powerful questions for me have always been, what if? And why not? Growing up, I learned to mistrust people or organizations who do not allow or answer these two questions, who promote a single vision of things. And I have found others who mistrust this kind of organization or person. The writer and storyteller Chimamanda Adichie, has anyone read her books? Heard of her? She did this wonderful TED Talk talking about the danger of the single story, of reducing narrative to just one version of events. I think that the best stories carry at their heart the freedom to ask and answer these two questions. Why not? What if? What if, for example, we choose to build here today a society of plural identities, multilingual, flourishing, in times when the growing tyranny of single vision tells us that difference is dangerous? Many people in systems are still trying to impose one single vision of religion, of politics, of economics, one language that's better, one race that is superior. We live in dangerous times. The philosopher Simone Weil, in her own dangerous times, said, "Once a certain class of people has been put by the authorities outside the ranks of those whose life has value, nothing comes more naturally than murder." Questions and people that challenge such authorities are disruptive. Here is another story, not from once upon a time, about my Romanian friend who works in a B&B making breakfasts for people who sit reading racist newspapers in front of her. She is trilingual, and I have seen her disarm people's prejudice with her intelligence, perfect bacon rolls, and gentle sense of humor. She is a living challenge to the editors of those newspapers and the monolithic, monovision worldview that they promote. But maybe you're thinking, or some of you are thinking, well, me, I only speak one language, right? Anyone? In Scotland, people often tell this story about themselves disparagingly. I'm just rubbish at languages. So, what if we open up from that single vision, self-deprecatory story? Why not learn another language? Seriously, why not? What if, as a country, we worked to build better language education in schools, for example? And what if language is wider than words? I see many monolingual people who daily challenge single vision narratives. Here are some more real-life characters from the story of our times. My mother-in-law, for example, who is an unwavering teacher of the language of kindness to every single person she meets. My pal who supports autistic children, champion of the language of listening. She understands what other people just judge. These people may only know one word for tree, but their lives shift and widen perspectives, challenging single vision impositions, translating experiences across boundaries of understanding. And look at you all here today, with all your different skills and questions, listening, challenging, suggesting multiple possibilities for 12 hours in a row. Being multilingual is just one path to realizing that the world is incorrigibly plural, to quote the poet Louis MacNeice. It is how I understood that even if there are different names for the same thing, that thing does not change. The elder tree kept on living its branchy life, whatever anyone called it. There are many ways of being human. There are many ways of being human, but the thing that remains constant, the thing that we all share, is being human, whatever language or languages we speak. That is the truly disruptive thought, enduringly dangerous to those mechanisms of tyranny that condemn ways of being that are different from the single vision norm. And we can all choose to live disruptively, to disrupt those tyrannies, challenge those systems and people who see difference as valueless. Welcoming multiple languages, different ways of saying and seeing the world is one way to do this, for sure. If you pull down just one brick from the wall surrounding single vision land, the view changes forever. And the wall is in great danger of being rebuilt as a bridge. So to live disruptively, we have to think disruptively, cross boundaries of understanding, open up on a daily basis the possibilities that things can be different, which means sowing seeds of hope in whichever language comes best to us, because language doesn't have to be made of grammar and words. Thank you.